Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United
of this session. So stick around. We look forward to that. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next speaker, Angela Grima. Did I say that correctly, Angela? How do you pronounce your last name? Here.
It's Grima.
Well, if you're going to blow it good, right? Okay, Angela Grima.
That's all right. You know what's that song? You say potato, I say potato. You say Grima, right. I say Grima.
That's all good. Well, a woman of my own heart. I'm also a singer-songwriter, but Angela is a singer-songwriter, owner of multiple businesses, facilitator of music on mass levels, and the unseen connection. As an artistic director, Angela embodies creativity and flexibility with a record of success as an experienced performer, business owner, communicator, and creator of highly imaginative corporate leadership development and team building events that ignite creativity and enable breakthrough results. She is qualified with a Bachelor of Music with honors and the scholarship recipient with Sydney Theatre Company, trained in acting, opera singing, and classical flautist. She, with over 20 years of demonstrated experience in the arts, gifted with a broad range of skills and abilities to create unique corporate events, unlike anything seen before in Australia. She's co-founder of Drum Beats Australia, Gaia Rhythm Events, and High Octave. Angela is a captivating vocalist with a 4-octave range, skilled in playing flutes from around the world, and an accomplished percussionist. Winner of Department Education and Training NSW Prager Award for Excellence in School Performances. Obviously a mom. She has successfully delivered national events, including NAB Leader, Australia-wide, created and delivered program that utilize creative arts to support the growth mindset initiatives at numerous sessions. Collaborative team building and creative mindset events that successfully enabled senior bankers to combine music and performance to drive an edge in the workplace. She's also available to translate client requirements to a singular artistic vision that goes above and beyond expectations and is unique, transformational with a fresh approach to team training, events, and activations for entertainment. Her topic for us today is Born to Shine, and thank you for being here.
Wow, that's not the bio I sent through, but obviously my name's Angela. Angela Grima in this lifetime. In fact, it's an interesting thing because I'm a person who really shies away from titles and accolades, to be honest. And I was thinking, wow, who put that together? Someone really must have gone to town and had a look and gone, she's done this, and this, because I often shy away from those things because sometimes I find it a little bit of a barrier between, I suppose, people and the way they think, because we're also capable of so many things. One of the things I do is I'm a singer-songwriter. Probably the best thing for me to do is talk to you a little bit about my journey, because today I'm here as a last minute. It literally found out about this on Thursday through my friend Vicky. Actually, we live close to each other. Hi, Vicky. And she'd said that she was talking at this, and I thought, wow, this, with what's been happening over the years for me, but also things coming together right now, it felt like a wonderful opportunity to be able to connect with some more awesome people. I have a belief that everybody is amazing, actually. Sometimes we just need a little bit of help finding that within us. Pretty much have been seeing and experiencing different things since I was a kid. I think one of my first memories of connection to God, creation, was actually with my grandmother, who I had a very strong relationship with, and still do, even though she's not here with us in the physical. It was an interesting time. Funnily enough, it was at church. Grew up in quite a religious Catholic family, but am not at all religious, because I accept that there's space and time for absolutely everything. And just grew up knowing that everything was possible, but I will never forget that feeling of absolute love and connection. And, even as an adult now, I still have that strong feeling. I can think back to that time and place when I was with my grandmother, and I can connect that to when I held my child for the first time, or saw something in nature that really touched me, or heard something, a sound. My life has been very much about sounds, frequencies, and connections. So I think really that's what has led me to where I am today. I've always experimented with sounds. I still remember as a little person, my dad making some comment like, "Are you ever going to stop singing?" I thought, funnily enough, I'd actually, put a bit of a clamp on things, because I thought, oh my gosh, he's sick of me singing. So I begged them to get me a flute until I was about 14, and then I got the flute. And yeah, destiny's destiny. You end up doing what you're supposed to do, and against the odds of the teachers saying, well, there's no point you going and doing music for your HSC. And then when I said I want to do 4-unit music, and they'll just go, you can't do 4-unit music. You just started when you're 14, and we've got people who've been playing cello since they were like 4 years old. And I said, well, watch me. I'll do 6 grades or do 7 grades in 4 years if I need to. Like, this is what I need to do with my life. So I did, and then I ended up getting acceptance into uni before results came out, just based on an audition actually. And that's pretty much been the way my life has rolled. Like, one thing's led to the other, and very much guided to go with the flow. So I literally do take the messages, just go, yeah, okay, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but yeah, I'm listening to you. What do you want me to do next? And so that bit in a nutshell. When I was about 9 years old, I remember sitting in the classroom. I was in year 4. I used to cry every day, pretty much, about going to school. I didn't want to leave my home. I didn't actually want to go to school. And I still remember sitting in the classroom this one day, and the light was coming in through the door. And as it came in, I had this feeling of, I'm going to be happy every day. Angela, your job, your role in this world is actually to create happiness. That's who you are. That's what you're doing. And it was like this, epiphany of a moment as a 9-year-old who was quite introverted, but would do puppet shows for my classmates, because that's where I connected with people. And so anyway, then we zip over to the next phase, where I met my partner, Rob, he used to be a professional tennis player. He was trying to get back on the court. And I said to him, hey, soccer players, the Cameroon's getting drumming lessons, and why don't I bring a drum out onto the court and I'll play for you so you can get a bit more rhythm in your game. And at the time, I'd been teaching children how to read and write and do music through rhythm and drama, and embodying that experience, getting them to make up songs, and we had a good time. So we ran these camps for kids, teaching them how to play tennis through rhythm and drama. So I'd be giving them I'd made up rhythms to go with different tennis moves. I'm a really lousy tennis player. Don't look at my technique. Anyway, what we found was that children who weren't naturally athletic, and hadn't embodied that part of themselves, were flying across the court with great enthusiasm and vigor and joy, and they were getting those moves. And my theory was proven to just go, well, if we can get past the mindset barrier, anything is really achievable. So it began. Then we got asked to do someone's corporate team building event, and then I think probably the next big change for me was when I did a job for the Royal Blind Society, and there were people there of all varying degrees of blindness, from night impaired vision to colour blindness to complete eye blindness. And I say eye blindness because vision is more than what you see through your eyes. Vision is what you feel. I still remember one of the most poignant lessons during my opera training with my teacher was, you're breathing well when you feel every single hair on your body stand up, and then you will know that you are connected. And I was, yeah, you're right, actually. Okay. And so it sort of became this way I approached different things in life. And so when I did this job for the Royal Blind Society, did the job, got into the car, and I started crying, and I just went, wow, those people can really see. They really can see. And yeah, those of us that are, you know, potentially not blind are really the blind leading the blind, so to speak, because they've learnt to see with their entire body. And my observation was that their communication, the rhythmical and musical communication through the drumming actually, was so far developed and evolved than anything I'd worked with before. So as a result, I made up a lot of blindfolds, and we started using blindfolds in our team building events where everyone gets a drum to play. And basically, I would say to them, everyone here is a leader, an instruction taker, an instruction giver, but essentially we're working on the unseen connection today. It's nothing airy-fairy. We're talking frequencies. We're talking magnetic fields. We're surrounded by frequencies and magnetic fields. In fact, your hot water meter, depending on which suburb you're in, will be on a particular harmonic. Ours went during COVID, and I found out we're on the 21st harmonic, and I just went, yeah, that's so cool. I like it. And actually what had come out about it, which was such a fabulous analogy for the way we operate as people, as a planet, as a, I'm going to call us an organization even, was that he was saying, this is the meter repairer who had come out. He was saying, somebody in your area has got a new device. It could be a new microwave, could be a new stove, could be a new computer, but it's actually interfering with the signal, the frequency signal that's turning your hot water system, you know, relay over. I'm just like, tell me more. And he drew this diagram, and I was thinking to myself, what a fabulous way of describing to people how we all have our own frequencies, whether you're a human, whether you're a plant, whether you're a stone, whether you are a nose hair, you know, we're talking. This is great. This is big stuff. And so what would happen in this team building when I had people blindfolded, and I'd be saying to them, everybody here is an instruction taker, an instruction giver, a leader, a listener. And I want you to think about an orchestra. And when we look at an orchestra, the music is created because of organized sounds. And when we look at frequency and sound, and we look at the way that sounds come together, there's been times in history where we have, say, master composers, for example, who create music that by the time you get to the end of the music, you actually have a shape, potentially a 5-pointed star, could be a hexagon. It's all about those harmonics coming together at the end of the day to create the bigger picture. And you know, it's all very science-based, actually. And so when I say to them, in an orchestra, we have balance. We'll have 40 violins, but why do we only have 2 tubas? And why do the tubas sometimes have to wait 200 bars before they come in? Well, the reason is that when the tuba speaks, people listen. And that's the role of the tuba. But if we were all tubas within an organization, would we actually get anything done? No. We wouldn't. We actually need those violins to create the rhythm, the bed of sound, the harmonies, just as we need the tuba and we need the conductor. And it's actually about recognizing it as a whole, as opposed to the tuba's better, the violin's better, the conductor's better, the first cello's better. It's actually, do you know what? All of us are here today because we actually rely on each other. We're responsible for the growth of our business. So I get them to put the blindfolds on. The largest group of people I've had blindfolded and drumming was, I think it was about 768 people, actually. And I was wondering what was going to happen, because I also say to them, this is the unseen connection. This is your intuition. This is the thing that tells you your friend's in trouble. This is the thing where you think about your friend and then suddenly they call you. We've all been in that position before. And anyway, I want you to finish together. And they look at me like, what? I said, yeah, I want you to finish together. You actually need to feel the ending. And I promise you, this is no airy, fairy, hippie kind of, chick out the front here telling you this. And I'm a lot older than you think I am, guys. So, you might think I'm like this, but I'm actually a lot older than you think. I'm probably older than quite a few of you in the room. So it's okay. I've got kids and I have a house. I even have a house. My goodness. We've got some things in common. And I say to them, actually quite a bit of I'm an introverted person. In fact, I don't like going to big parties. I'd rather go and sit in the bush, to be honest. Anyway, long story short, they finished together. And it's so amazing because the same thing happens every time, whether I've got a group of 10 or a group of, say, 750 people, is that they instinctively lock into this rhythm together. So it starts off like this messy conversation, almost like instruments in an orchestra pit tuning up. And then it becomes this rhythm. And then we start having conversations where we'll have part of the room doing da diddy da da, and the other group like diddy 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 da diddy da da diddy 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 ba biddy ba ba biddy diddy diddy, and then boom boom ba ba da biddy dun dun dun, and you've just got all these conversations going. And then they just kind of slowly end it. And then you might see it come back up again. But what's been really fun in the last couple of years, I've actually been experimenting with conducting them with the blindfolds on, because I'm just like, Angela, you've got this theory about frequencies and our connectivity. So theoretically speaking, you should actually be able to conduct them physically without them seeing with your eyes, and they're going to listen to you. And it happens. And so I'll get the organizer or the CEO who's booked us, and I said, just want you to take your blindfold off for a minute so you can understand the importance of intuition in a corporate setting and understand that connection is so deep with your thoughts. And I said, just watch, okay? So I'll be at the front and I'll be getting them to stop, and I'm going, come on, stop. And they stop. And you've got the CEO who looks, what did you just do? And I said, it's conscious. I said, I'm consciously conducting them. And I said, and I'm very present. And the intent is there. And I said, we need to approach everything in life with intent, and your people will be working better together. And so that was that side of things. And then and my husband and I started up another business called Gaia Rhythm Events, because I got sick of going to perform at events where we had people giving us terrible dressing rooms or telling the acrobats they wanted them to do some acrobatics on a wet bar, these sorts of things. We thought, oh my goodness. Or someone had heard me sing and say, we'd like to have you singing at our event. And I'd say, well, I'm only as good as my engineer, so I need, I bring my engineer as well, because I suppose that vocal range can be quite a tricky one. So anyway, and the plan with Gaia Rhythm Events was actually to do sustainable shows all over the world, where we would use the money we'd made to buy land in different countries as preservation for the future generations to understand and to start speaking to the land. And so that's all that in a little nutshell. And recently I've been guided to a space which I had no idea about any of this, but singing stones. I stood on the rock and I heard the frequency. Then I stood on another rock and there was another frequency. And there's 7 of these stones, which I've taken Vicky to this place. And the elder from that area came to me in spirit and said, and I said to her, I really don't know if I'm equipped to be doing this, and I feel a bit awkward coming into this space. And she said to me, you've been telling people that we've all got Indigenous connections, and that's an important part of your team building. And I said, yes. And I talked to them about the responsibility of that, in fact, that some of us are so far disconnected from our Indigenous connections, we don't know. It's us and them, but it's not. It's us and us. Actually, we are one. And so she said, your ancestry, And you've been a singer, a temple singer from times ago. And all these bits and pieces started to come together, and different experiences in life where I thought I was going loopy have come together. Like when I was in New Zealand and I'm in the car and we're driving back up to Franz Josef, and my husband is next to me, and I said to him, "Oh, Rob, you need to keep talking to me because this time I've lost it." I said, "There's a group of Maori women to my left," and I said, "They're initiating me into the earth. And when we get back to Sydney, I'm going to see a psychiatrist. I can't take this anymore." And we get back to the unit and I've drawn this star constellation. I'm just going, what is wrong with me? And as we were driving back from from Franz Josef to Christchurch, I was driving and I stopped at one of the rest places and I heard running water. So I said, "Oh, wow, let's go and have a look at this." And went down the path and there was a plaque there, and it was a sacred Maori burial ground. And on the plaque was the star constellation I'd drawn the night before, and just going, what is going on? And so numbers of these things have happened to me throughout life. And then recently with the elder, where she was showing me this grid that had connected to all the sacred places on this planet, and was talking about the way that we used to travel between countries was actually through the sounds that would be coming together to open up a porthole for transformation, either to a different country or to another dimension. And I must say, I thought to myself, now, are you really going kooky, Angela? This is this is something else, right? But it's sort of connected to another situation that had happened to me where I was doing this past life regression with someone. I had got skipped heartbeats after my grandmother passed. And I went to this woman and we did this past life regression. I was walking into the temple with a big, big table of stone, and there was a room full of different entities from other planets. And they said, "You're here, fabulous." It was like a big party in there. "So you're ready to get started with your work?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess so. I guess I've signed up, so let's get going." And I suppose, everything's happening. I never thought I'd be doing pop music because I always found it quite a disconnection from really sound, but that's the way to connect to people. And recently just wrote a song called Born to Shine, which is to remind people of who we are and the amazing people that we are, and that everybody's worthy of being heard. We've all got our role to play, and we play that well together if we can orchestrate it. And and so that's me. That's my message. I channel. It's all lastminute.com.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I did a workshop years ago, and one of the exercises was to tell people to find something to make noise with. So there were, pencils on chairs, on windows, on desks, on whatever. And the same thing happened. They just started out. Yeah. And in about 10 minutes time, they are totally synchronous with each other. It's just amazing. It's amazing.
It so is amazing. The power of frequency, but even when you actually learn to recognize your own frequency and the way that you can amplify your frequency. But one last thing I'll say is that when I had my second child, I'd actually dreamt with my grandmother. So I knew when my grandmother was going to pass and how she was going to pass. And it was all, I guess, sudden in the sense that she wasn't sick. But the feeling I had when I was in the room with her as she lay in the bed and she'd physically left, wow, it was life. That was life. I could have fallen back and had 1,000 hands catch me. And the sweet smell, I can't even describe, nothing I've experienced on earth. But she was holding my child in this one dream, always happens to the left of my vision. And there she was, and these blonde-haired, curly little girls, and on my grandmother's lap looking at me. And I thought, yeah, right, I'm going to have a blonde-haired kid. This is interesting. Well, I tell you what, if someone had taken a photo of that memory, that dream, and put it next to my child right now, you begin to understand, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And I
Wow.
really did go on a journey with my grandmother when she left for 6 months, where I started to understand how different souls come together. And it's another conversation, but in terms of, we come from pods of beings, in fact.
Yes. Yes. You
And
do.
it's pretty amazing. And so, for example, Vicky might have been my sister last time. Bobby, you might have been my mom, you know. Dev, you could have been my
Yeah.
uncle. You know, it's like
Yes. Yes.
Gloria, you know, like it's this amazing plethora. And I just think if people had information and it was common sense as it is to drive a car, which, you know, you could debate is an illusion. It exists because of mass consciousness, but does
Right.
it truly exist?
Right.
You know, because other dimensions exist. Well, wouldn't that be fabulous if we had politicians talking about that? So
Yeah.
that's my message. You know, is to get that out.
There's one more thing I want to say before I move on to Vicky, and that is that you just very calmly and nonchalantly move through the fact that you do sustainable shows globally, and you use that money to buy land around the world to help, as I understood it, help bring a consciousness to young people in a relationship with the mother. And it's like, that is amazing. Thank you. Kudos to you. Thank you for doing that.
Oh,
That's
we
like
haven't bought the land yet. We haven't bought the
well,
land yet, but we want to.
it's a vision. Hold it, and you'll do it. You know,
We, I'm
you'll
going
do
to do it. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. We're going to do
Awesome.
it.
Awesome. All right. What a wonderful legacy to leave too.